Okay. Where's the E minor? That's it. Okay.
All right.
Okay, gotta stretch there. Here we go, Moshe. Ready?
No, you have the file that I sent you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Otzo Eitzave Sofa Dabro Davar El Yakom Otzo Eitzave Sofa Dabro Davar El Yakom Keimanu Keil Otzo Eitzave Sofa Dabro Davar El Yakom Keimanu Keil Hey Otzo Eitzave Sofa Dabru davar v'leyakom.
Nice riff there, Moshe.
Otzo eitzave sufar dabru davar v'leyakom ki imanu keil. Otzo eitzave sufar dabru davar v'leyakom ki imanu keil. Otzo eitzave sufar dabru davar v'leyakom. Otzo eitzave sufar dabru davar v'leyakom ki imanu keil. Otzo eitzave sufar dabru davar v'leyakom ki imanu keil. Hey, otzo eitzave sufar dabru davar v'leyakom. Otzo eitzave sufar dabru davar v'leyakom ki imanu keil. Otzo eitzave sufar dabru davar v'leyakom ki imanu keil.
Sweet, thank you. Hey kids, what time is it?
Time for Gezintahait Street.
It is time for Gezintahait Street. And the story tonight is a famous story in Lubavitch. However, not so famous is the Rebbe's commentary on the story. Why doesn't Hashem appear to me? The previous Rebbe told that when his father, the Rebbe Rashab, and the reason I'm telling a story about the Rebbe Rashab, particularly on his birthday, because Sunday is the first day of the month of Nisan, and the Rebbe Rashab's birthday is Monday. So the previous Rebbe related a story about his father, the Rebbe Rashab, when he was 4 or 5 years old. His mother, Rebbe Tzvi, brought him to his grandfather, the Tzemach Tzedek, so the boy could receive a blessing for his birthday. When the child entered his grandfather's office, he burst into tears. His grandfather asked, "Why are you crying?" The child answered, "In school, I learned that Hashem appeared to Abraham." It was in Parshas Vayera. "I'm crying because Hashem doesn't appear to me." This little kid told his grandfather, the Rebbe. The Tzemach Tzedek answered, "When a Jew of 99 years chooses to circumcise himself, he deserves to have Hashem appear to him." There's another version of the answer of the Tzemach Tzedek. When a Jew, a tzaddik, a righteous man of 99 years old, chooses to circumcise himself, he deserves to have Hashem appear to him. The Rebbe Rashab was so young at the time, he didn't remember the exact wording. There was 2 versions. So those versions were recounted by individuals who shared the story as they heard it. Our Rebbe explains that the story and its details can be utilized in our personal service to Hashem. As every story of a Rebbe, we have to find out how we can use it to serve Hashem. Regarding Abraham, The sages teach that throughout all his years, each day's service was perfect. Nevertheless, Abraham showed that even one on that lofty level was serving perfectly is obligated to circumcise himself. What do you mean? In other words, he has to uncover the godliness which is obscured by the world. Only one who has attained the level of 100 years is not affected by that which hides godliness. So Abraham was 99 years old, and he had to do the service of taking off the covering that the world was covering over the godliness in him. We don't mean that Avraham Avinu means our father, Avraham our father, resolved to add something new to his godly service. He had already accomplished. Rather, Abraham realized that heretofore, he had not accomplished the main aspect of godly service, which was to circumcise himself, to take away the covering that covers over on the godliness of the godly soul. Adam, the first man, was given 6 commandments, and Noah received the 7th. Avram received the mitzvah of Milah. He was given the commandment to circumcise himself, which was a necessary preparation for the Jewish people to receive the Torah. Avram uncovering, taking away the covering of the world from the revelation of his godly soul and the godliness that was connected to him, was the preparation for all of us to receive the Torah. Additionally, until Avram fulfilled this mitzvah, something was missing from all phases of his earlier service, even though he served Hashem perfectly every day. Until he took away this covering, something was missing from that perfect service he had been doing. His circumcision raised all of his previous deeds to a higher level of perfection. And the lesson we can learn from Abraham is that no matter how advanced we are, even if we reach the level of 99, until we reach the level of 100, we have not perfected our service to Hashem. The 2 versions of the Tzemach Tzedek's answer, if you remember, one version is when he said when a Jew is 99 years old and he circumcises himself, he's worthy to have Hashem appear to him. And the other one is when a Jew, a righteous one, a tzaddik, circumcises himself, he's worthy to have Hashem appear to him. And since the previous Rebbe shared both versions, each contains a message that the other one doesn't. Like we said, the mitzvah to circumcise oneself prepared the Jews to do all the mitzvahs after the Torah was given, and therefore this underscores the unique quality of the mitzvahs performed after we received the Torah. Before we received the Torah, there was mitzvahs done by Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, but they did not have the gravitas. They did not have the completion of service that us poor, low folks are able to accomplish. The mitzvahs done before we got the Torah came through the power of created beings. It was from their own strength that they did the mitzvahs. The mitzvahs that we do come through and reflect the power of Hashem. We make physicality holy. And from here we can understand the difference between the two versions of the story. The first version, when a Jew of 99 years expresses the idea, when a Jew of 99 years circumcises himself, he's worthy to have Hashem appear to him. And that expresses the idea like Hashem sees it. To Hashem, all levels, whether of worlds, the highest world to the lowest, or in a person, a tzaddik, a Beinani, or a Rasha, they're all equal to Hashem. Therefore, the first version doesn't mention that Abraham was righteous, that he was a tzaddik. It just said when the Jew of 99 circumcised himself, he could have the revelation of Hashem. Not only that, to receive a revelation of Hashem's essence, a person must disregard levels. We see this from Rabbi Zera. To prepare himself to learn Torah as taught in Jerusalem, he was a Babylonian sage, he had to fast 100 times in order to forget his previous learning. When a Jew of 99 circumcises himself, he's worthy to have the revelation of Hashem. In the second version, where he said a Jew who is a tzaddik, who is righteous, indicates how circumcision is viewed and realized by us. How it's realized from above, every level is equal. How it's realized by us, there are levels. And even a tzaddik, one whose service up till now was perfect, has to circumcise himself to uncover that which on his level hides on godliness. In both versions of the story, mitzvahs represent an eternal bond between the person and Hashem, to the point where even a Jew who is a sinner is nevertheless bound to Hashem eternally. The word mitzvah means to be connected. And since a person knows he is totally and everlastingly bound to Hashem, he could think he has perfected himself, that he has reached the level of 100. And the story of the young Rebbe Hershel teaches us that we should always view ourselves that we're in a level of 99, and as a result we need circumcision. We have to uncover the godliness. When this is a person's intention, he's worthy that Hashem appeared to him just as he appeared to Abraham in a prophetic vision of the Shekhinah, the divine presence, which is higher than wisdom.
You know, B'Tzalel, it's like they said about me, when a puppet is 2,999 years old,
he still has to uncover the godliness that is in him.
That's right. No, Moshe Niggin.
Do we need that beer this kid is taking?
Which?
Yeah, you don't have to drink it. You don't have to drink it right here in the room, so we don't have to see that you're doing it.
We don't know nothing about it. Okay, good. Ma'anigi. Which one? Do you want to tell you? Which one is it?
He told you it's probably that, when the tribe, when they're sitting together, brothers together.
No,
he never told. No, it wasn't that.
No.
I was going. You give me the name.
Okay.
Give me the E minor one.
Okay. Give me a E. E minor.
An E.
E minor, yeah. Perfect. Ay 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 de de dam, ay 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 de de dam, ay 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 de de dam, ay 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 de de dam, ay 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 de de dam, hey ay de de dam ay ay yam ay ay yam ay yam ay 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 dam ay 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 dam ay ay yam ay ay yam ay yam ay 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 hey ay 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 oh ay 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 hey ay 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 hey ay 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 no James let's tambourine ay 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 dim ay 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 hey ay 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 dim ay 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 So Betzalel, I think it's time for Chassidus now.
You know,
Good stuff.
we have been developing a system where Gimel Elef, the 3,000-year-old puppet,
That's me.
is teaching seniors how to develop their mental acuity in order to preserve mental nimbility. They'll be nimble mentally. So our system is that 1 week I say a teaching from the Rebbe, and the next week Gimel Elef repeats it. But we had a couple weeks in the middle, so I gave this one a couple weeks ago, and Gimel Elef is going to tell it to us tonight.
And by the way, Betzalel, I'm qualified. Oh yes, because if there ever was a senior, that was me. Let me tell you, Betzalel, the one guy Elon Musk found on Social Security over 2,000 years old, that was me.
And you're still alive.
And I'm still alive.
Oh, you don't tell him that.
Well, anyway, the end of the Rambam, the end of the 14 books of Rambam, the last halacha, the last law is, in that era, meaning in the era of Mashiach, there will be neither famine nor war, envy nor competition, for good will flow in abundance. All
delights or all delights?
Delights.
All
But maybe
delights.
both, Betzalel.
Maybe.
All delights will be freely available like dust. And they won't have value because the only value will be God. And the tire of oil will be only to know God. Therefore, the Jews will be great sages, and they will know the hidden matters, grasping the knowledge of their Creator according to the full extent of human potential. Like it says in Isaiah 11:9, the world will be filled with the knowledge of God as the waters cover the ocean bed. So that's the last halacha. Now the end is wedged in the beginning, like a cycle. And the beginning in the end. Because the end of Rambam is what? That the whole world will pursue the knowledge of Hashem. Da'as esavaya, knowledge. Now the beginning of the Rambam, what's the first commandment that he outlines? Is he says the foundation of foundations and the pillar of wisdom is to know the knowledge of God. Das esavaya also, the knowledge of God. So the end of the Rambam is das, knowledge of God, and the beginning, the first law, is to know that there is a first cause who runs the world and creates the worlds and all their hosts in the heavens and the earth. Now there is a short and interesting passage in the Zohar which also speaks about the commandment to know God, das esavaya, which will elucidate the connection of Das in the end as well as in the beginning of Rambam. Now the following mitzvah,
This is the Zohar.
this is the Zohar now we're going to say, that the following mitzvah is first of all, it's the primordial mitzvah which precedes all, and two, it is the first primordial of all mitzvahs, which is what? To know that there is a God in general. But the question is, what does in general mean? Our Zohar answers the question that he asks, that it means one, to know that there is one above who is in charge, and two, who runs the world, and three,
One is he's a master of the world, and two, he runs the world.
runs the world, and three, he creates all the worlds, and four is that everything that exists, the heaven and the earth and all their hosts, and that's what the Zohar means when he uses the term in general, is what? To know all the details of how Hashem works and what he does. And this general principle, which includes all details of knowledge of God, is the chain of descent of the worlds to which the infinite connects us to us limited creatures. In general, a way of klal, meaning that it includes all of the particulars. That's what a klal is. A klal includes all the particulars. In the voids of the Alter Rebbe, in Igros HaKodesh, sheyedias hametzius me'ishtalshelus hi gam kein mitzvah roma v'niso ve'adraba oile al kulona, that the knowledge of the existence of Hashem, right, from the ishtalshelus, from the chaining down of the worlds, is a lofty and exalted mitzvah. Indeed, it outweighs all the mitzvahs, and even the study of the law.
So that's to know.
Yeah, and that's Kemoshe Kosov, like it's written, V'yodaita hayoim v'chulu, and you will know on this day that Hashem Hu Elokim, that all, meaning Elokim, how Hashem comes into this world,
In the
is
heavens
all Havaya.
above, and
And
in the
on the
earth
earth
below.
below. Yeah.
That's the selfless.
And this, how do we do it? Through knowing the Seder Hishtalshelus, which brings one to a complete heart, Umevio Lelev Shalim. So the Alter Rebbe explains the knowledge of Hashem is acquired how? Through the mitzvah of knowing the chaining down of the creation, the Seder Hishtalshelus. And of course, this is also illustrated by our Zohar and by Rabbi Tzvi, the father of the Rebbe, and as we will see also in the Rambam, also the same thing. Now the Rebbe's father, Rabbi Tzvi, explains the Zohar in detail, according to the chain of descent of the worlds, as manifest through the spheres, through the attributes, the godly attributes. He analyzes the statement of the Zohar in detail. He starts with the primordial mitzvah is to know, and then, talking about the same mitzvah to know God, he then says it says not the primordial mitzvah, but then it says the first mitzvah. First it says the primordial, and then it says the first mitzvah. So he could have just said the primordial mitzvah is to know God.
Why did it have to say the first mitzvah?
But he continues with, this seems like superfluous. And then he again calls it the primordial mitzvah. So the explanation is that the primordial, in the first time he uses it, is talking about Keser, which is the crown, which is divine delight and desire for the mitzvah. This is above intellect still, just in the desire. But in the second phrase, then he says first, this is talking about Chachma. Right? Chachma is the first flash when it comes into the intellect already. And then after this he says primordial again. This means Bina. This is how the dot of Chachma widens out. Like we know that the Chachma is shown in the Yud, in the little tiny Yud of Hashem's name, Yud Kei Vav Kei. And the Bina is shown in the Hey, which is a more expansive letter. And to know is what? Is Das. This is Das, to know. So now we can understand the Zohar's explanation of the details included in the general mitzvah of knowing God. To know there is a master on high, who is the boss of the world, who creates all the world, heavens and the earth and all their hosts. That's what it means in general, that it includes all the details. So in general, in an all-inclusive way, it starts with the master, right? The master is Atik, the ancient one, which is included.
That's the first primordial.
The first primordial, yeah. And how it is included in the Malchus, in the kingship of other.
This is Rebbe Leivik's explanation of how the Seder Stalshus is included in the Zohar's answer. What do we mean by klal?
And so this, the first mention of primordial, because Ak is translated as primordial man, Adam Kadmon. Right? And he's the master, the king, it's Malchus.
It's Malchus of Ak.
Yeah,
That's
so
what it
it's
said.
this is
Atik is included in Malchus of Ak.
so it's included in Adam Kadmon, which is above it.
Yeah.
Then he says the boss of the world. This is Chachma. Why is the boss of the world Chachma, B'Tzalel?
Why is the boss of the word Chachma?
Yeah.
Because Rebbe Leivik said it is.
No, that's good enough for me. Then creates all the worlds is Bina. And then after that you have the heaven and the
Like
earth.
you have in the house.
Yeah.
The father is the boss, and
oh,
then the
this
mother
may
is
right
the-
because she creates. Yeah.
then the mother gives birth to the
Right,
children.
yeah. So you have the Chachma, that makes sense, it's Abba. And then you have the heaven and the earth, Zah and Malchus. The Eranpin is the
Heaven.
the heaven, and Malchus is the earth. So that's the emotional attributes and the kingship.
That's the heaven and earth.
Heaven and earth. And all their hosts. So this is all talking in the first of the four worlds in Atzilus.
Before the hosts.
Yeah,
The
before the
hosts
host,
bring
all
it
that
to-
we just spoke about before, the master and the boss and creates all the world. This is all in the first world of Atzilus.
No, and heaven and earth is all.
And heaven and earth, yeah, also in Atzilus, correct. And then all their hosts. This is Biyah, Bria, Yetzirah, Asiyah, the lower three worlds.
the worlds in which things appear separate from
Yeah,
God.
so that's in general, that's the difference between the world of Atzilus and the world of Biyah. Is the world of Atzilus does not feel itself. It does not know itself. It doesn't feel itself to be a being.
At least as a separate being.
At least not a separate being. And all of this, to know, Das stands between and connects every level down to the Zah and Malchus, heaven and earth. Because the Das connects the Chochmah to the Bina, and the Bina to the Zeranpin, to the emotions, and that to the Malchus. It connects everything. And then through this Biyah, the three lower worlds of Bria, Yitzir, Asira are brought down into being from the world of Atzilus. And in both statements, it uses for mitzvah, it uses the word Pikudim, which is, this is a connection to this week's parsha, called Pikudei. Now, yeah, Hashgacha Pratis, this is divine providence. First with the primordial Keser, right? It uses this Pikudim, and then with Chachma, and then again with the second primordial Bina, it uses Pikudim. Pikudim, right? It's plural. It indicates the 620 mitzvahs. Now, I know people are going to ask, wait a second. I thought there's 613 mitzvahs. But there's also the 7 additional mitzvahs.
Of the rabbis.
Yeah, that's also included in the 620. And which adds up to the 620, right? Which adds up to Keser, crown. The crown, right? The Chaf is 20. And
the Chaf is Keser.
Yeah,
the
but I'm
first
saying
word of Keser, the first letter is Chaf.
No, but this is the Keser is Chaf is 20.
No, that's Chaf.
And the Sof not yet, and that's the Klal.
Yes.
That's in the Klal. This is in the Keser, and the Sof.
I'm just telling you, the Keser is the 620. Keser starts with a Chaf.
Yeah, but that's because
that's Keser.
That's in Klal. Not in
No,
Keser.
that's Keser. It starts with a Chaf. The word Keser starts
Yes,
with
it
a
starts
Chaf.
with a Chaf, correct.
So you see the Chaf.
Well, that's
the
how it's
Keser is
included
Chaf.
in Klal, yeah.
But besides that,
Yeah.
it's Chachma in there, and Chachma adds up to 20.
Yeah, but also it's the Gematria 620 is Kaf is 20, and Sof is
It's
400.
not 20. The
Chaf is
20
not
is
20?
when it comes into Chachma. It's not 20
We
yet.
can't argue
It's just
on the
that
math.
the Chaf is Kesser.
That's in Klal, not in Keser.
Yes.
But we're not talking
The
about...
word Kesser starts with a
I
Chaf.
know, but we're not talking about Klal yet. We're jumping the gun.
It doesn't matter about Klal.
Yeah,
Kesser
yeah.
starts with a Chaf.
I know, but
That's
that's
what
in
he's telling you.
different void
He's telling
Klal,
you
different void.
Chaf.
That's later.
He's telling you Chaf is Kesser and Chachma.
I didn't get there yet.
Okay.
I didn't get there yet. That's coming up soon. Right now, we're talking about the fact that the void Keser itself
It's 620, not
is
20.
is 620. Yeah. The Chaf is 20. The Sof is 400. And the Reish is 200. It equals 620.
Okay.
The math is undeniable, depending on the calculator. Anyways, so this adds up to Keser. And of course, the source of these mitzvahs is in Keser. And afterwards, it also talks about their souls being in Chachma and Bina. Right? So this understanding accomplishes the primordial mitzvah of knowing Hashem. This is what in general all-inclusive really means. To know Das, the highest of all levels of the godly realm, until the lowest level of our world of action. And they are all hinted in the word Klal, right? In general, we said it's all in this is in general Klal. How is this? Because the Chaf. Now we come to what we was talking about, Betzalel. The Chaf.
What are you talking about?
The Chaf. The Chaf is Keser, right? But the Chaf is also 20. And the Yud, right? The Yud has a thorn, which is Keser. Now the Lamed is Bina, Zer Anpin, and Malchus.
So you skipped Chachma.
Now, oops, how's the Chachma involved?
The Yud. Yud
Oh, the Yud.
Vav It's spelled Yud.
It's spelled Yud. Yud Vav Daled, which is Yud is 10, Vav is 6, and Daled is 4. And if you use the same calculator, which I have used before, it comes out to be 20. And this is the Chaf of Klal. Now we go to the first Lamed of Klal. The first Lamed of Klal is Bina, Zer Anpin, and Malchus. Right? This is the three things, which a Lamed stands for 3. And the second Lamed is also another 3, is Bria, Yetzira, Asiya, which like we said was the hosts, was all their hosts, which is these 3 vowels.
The whole Seder is
Yeah.
in the word Klal.
Yeah, so to know Das, to know in general the Klal, the whole chain of descent of the vowels is included in this. No, Moshe, how about on Nigin?
Oh, so beautiful.
What's Nigin? Oh! For Axe, is that what you're doing? What are you playing here?
How about you want to get
Yeah. Keep it on the screen. Yeah, which one are you doing? Manayim Sheves Achim Gam Yachad
Let me
Hine
do slow,
Materu
half speed.
I don't know if I can go
Hine
Manayim Sheves Achim Gam Yachad Hine Materu Manayim Sheves Achim Gam Yachad Oyinei Matei Sheves Achim Gam Yachad Oyinei Matei Sheves Achim Gam Yachad Hinei Matei Umanoim Sheves Achim Gam Yachad Hinei Matei Umanoim Sheves I have a question. Do you remember we sang the Hinei Matei that Rabbi Itkin used to sing, Rabbi Shalom used to sing? Remember that one? Go this one. You know this? Remember it? Go this one. Try it. Give me is E minor?
There we are.
Hinei Matei Umanoim Sheves Achim Gam Yachad Hinei Matei Umanoim Sheves Achim Hey ya 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 ya, ma ya ya ya. Hey ya 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 yo ye na na. Ah ya 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 yo ye na na. Hey ya 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 yo ye na na. Hey ya ya ma ya oh ye na na. Hey ya 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 oh ye na ma ye ya ya. Hey ya 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 oh ye na oh ye na na. Hey ya 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 oh ye na ah ya ya. Hey ya 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 oh ye na na. So now this teaching from Zohar will serve to connect for us the end of the Rambam, right? Because we said the end is wedged in the beginning, and the beginning in the end. So we're looking to connect how is the end of the Rambam, which talks about that the whole world, their only job, their only occupation and endeavor will be only to know God, to the beginning of the Rambam, which the beginning of the Rambam is the Yesoida is Omda Chochma, is the pillar of all knowledge, and the foundation of all foundations is to know God, knowledge of God. So this is how we're going to connect, because these two things. As our Rebbe points out, that this Zohar is actually the source of the first law and the first book of the Rambam. The commandment to know Hashem is actually the very words that starts this monumental work. And essentially, not only is it based on this, but it's essentially a translation. Correct, Bitzalil? It's a translation.
The Rambam is a translation of that Zohar.
Yeah. That the foundation of foundation and the pillar of all wisdom is to know Hashem. This is the same as the primordial mitzvah of mitzvahs, and the first mitzvah, as expressed by Rambam in Hebrew, foundation of foundations. This is the same as primordial. And the pillar of wisdom is to know, like the Rambam says. And he is the existence that brings out all existence, the Rambam continues, which is Keser, the crown.
The primordial.
Yeah, the primordial. The first primordial.
Yeah.
He is the first cause and the creator of the worlds. So this is the Chachma and the Bina. Heaven and earth and all their hosts, like we said in the Zohar. Our Rebbe points out that besides the first mitzvah of the Rambam, which is to know that Hashem exists, right? So this is like the Zohar, to know the existence of Hashem, which is higher than any mitzvah. And this is why our Zohar is in Parshas Vayera. This Zohar comes from Parshas Vayera, which is before the mitzvah was given.
In other words, to know Hashem a level that's higher than all the
So it comes before the
mitzvah is to know there's a level higher than the mitzvah.
Yeah. So this is why it's in Vayera. It's given in a time before the giving of the Torah. It's about knowing Hashem for Himself, a level of godliness higher than the mitzvahs, and even than His first primordial mitzvah to know Him. And this is even more clear from what the Rebbe's father, Rebbe Leivik, what he explained from that Zohar, that the primordial, this means Keser, the crown. And that the first, which is Chachma, and then the next time he says primordial, this means Bina. Right? Just like it says that, like Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu by the burning snare, the bush, that Ekeh, right? The name that I will be what I will be, right? I will be is Keser. Asher, which means which.
Osios,
I will be which I will be.
Osios Rosh.
Yeah, which is like Reish, which like we know that the Reish is Chachma, that the head is Chachma. So this is Reish. And the next Asher, right, that's Asher. And there's another Ekeh. And this second one is Bina.
Both
so it's
primordial.
Keser, Chachma,
Keser
Bina.
and Bina are both primordial.
Yeah, they're both the primordial, and the middle is Reish, is Chachma, is the Reish, the Asher. Ekeh, Asher, Ekeh. Which name is the source of the Rambam, that he says he is the first existence, Keser, that's the first I will be, from which every existence is found and generated. There must be an existence that is not an existence, meaning it is a nothing type of existence that brings out all seemingly separate existences. Right? If we have separate existences, There's me and there's you and there's Moshe. Well, no, but how can we be one? Because something must connect us. And this is this existence, which is a existence that's higher than our existence, and this can only exist from His true existence. Like the Zohar states, this mitzvah to know is the primordial mitzvah. Is not just the knowing that Hashem exists, which is higher and precedes any mitzvah, even the primordial mitzvah it comes before, which consists
knowing is the primordial.
Yeah, which consists of knowing the details of how He connects to the world. That even though it is one of the mitzvahs, it is the foundation and the pillar of all other mitzvahs, on which the whole building stands. Even more, it is the general, like we said before, the cloud, in which the whole structure is included. Like Rabbi Tzvi explains the details of the Hebrew word of cloud, right, in general, which includes the whole chain of descent of the worlds. That the mitzvah to know Hashem is really the first mitzvah of the Ten Commandments, right? Anmeichi Hashem Elokecha, I am Hashem your God. It includes all the positive and negative commandments. And how does the Zohar end? That this is in general, like the first law of the Rambam also, which explains that there is a mitzvah to know that there is Hashem in general. But then after he says in general, he goes and explains all the details. He explains the Ma'aseh Merkava, he explains the Ma'aseh Bereshis, right? The heavenly chariots and the whole chain of descent.
All the details.
Yeah, and he goes and tells all the details.
So, and if it's a halacha, he's telling you this is how you do this mitzvah. To know is to know all these details.
Yeah. As we explained, the mitzvah of knowing Him contains many details. So we see that in the Rambam, right, in the next 4 chapters, we see that he talks about the heavenly chariot, and following that, he talks about the whole chain of creation. And anyway, this is how the beginning is wedged in the end, and this is why when we finish the Rambam, we start right all over again, because it never stops. And the Torah never stops, and Chassidus never stops, and the Jewish people never stops, and the Eibusher never stops, and we should have Moshiach right now. G, where's the G? You want G? Gezintahait, 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 my friends!
Remember, kids, Gezintahait.
That's right, Gezintahait. Oh, nice ending.